Is the pursuit of happiness actually making us less happy?
Welcome to Tune In Life. Each week we explore how to live more intentionally in a noisy world, one honest conversation at a time.
Ready to turn down everyday noise? It's time to tune into
Tune In Live.
We live in an age of abundance. Amazing technology, advanced medicine, on-demand services everywhere. Think about it. Not just fast food, food delivery of all kinds, plus merchandise delivered right to your door. All kinds of entertainment at the touch of a button. Endless music playing wherever you go. And it feels like infinite knowledge is available in the palm of our hand. There are even entire industries built around helping us feel better. Self-help books, wellness apps, and personal development programs all right at our fingertips. On and on. Yet many of us still feel restless, dissatisfied, and strangely incomplete. Have you ever wondered why?
Only all my life. And who am I to complain? As a white man living in America from an upper middle class family, I have a good job, live in a nice city, eat organic, and live near a park. I often think to myself that I have no right to be unhappy. Still, happiness and the appreciation for all I have seems so hard to hold on to sometimes. Why is that? I get the feeling I'm not the only one to feel this way.
Wow, I feel astonished to hear you acknowledge your privilege. It's human nature to take things as they are and for granted. There's the saying, first world problems. When you think about people in other parts of the world facing life and death struggles with hunger or disease, it definitely puts things in perspective, doesn't it? Complaining about slow Wi-Fi suddenly feels like a luxury, but maybe there's more going on than it seems.
Oh, don't talk to me about slow Wi-Fi, the bane of my existence. But all joking aside, I have decided to give myself grace by accepting that everybody faces difficulty and can feel unhappy, regardless of their relative status in society. Isn't it ironic that sometimes the most successful people also seem the most unhappy?
That's right. I've met many top executives who say they actually felt less happy as they climbed higher in their careers. Sure, the pay improved, but the work often became more stressful. In many cases, they no longer got to do the parts of the work they once loved. You probably heard the phrase golden handcuffs, right?
Oh, yeah, I've got one of those types of jobs. I'm so grateful for my job, but I am not always happy doing the work or managing all the requirements and social dynamics of the environment. I'm lucky to have a job that provides retirement benefits, but that is a double-edged sword because it makes me think twice before leaving, even when I'm unhappy. It's hard to give up that long-term benefit, that security. But speaking of success and happiness, there appear to be diminishing returns to the happiness brought by wealth. Economists talk about the satiation point, where the benefits of wealth no longer outweigh the costs. And there can be a real downturn in happiness if the stress and pressure to maintain your standard of living becomes unbearable.
Let's unpack that. Based on the study done in 2010, to understand the relationship between money and happiness in America, emotional well-being of managing daily happiness and stress rises with money, one's income, until about 75,000 per year.
Wow.
After that, additional income doesn't significantly improve day-to-day happiness. Have you heard of Maslow's hierarchy of needs?
Of course, but please say more. How does Maslow's hierarchy of needs relate to the cost of happiness?
According to Dr. Maslow, a psychologist, in life, it's essential that our basic needs are met. Things like safety, food, and shelter. Once those are secure, we tend to pursue the next levels accomplishment, recognition, and self esteem. Interesting enough, Maslow described many of these are deficiency needs, things we seek because we feel something is missing. You want food, a better home, or even self esteem because you don't feel you have it. It could be an endless pit.
Oh, an endless pit of despair, of dissatisfaction, of scarcity. I've heard about two different mindsets: scarcity mindset and abundance mindset. Scarcity mindset is that feeling that resources are limited, so you need to hold on to what you have and look out for anything that could take it away from you. Abundance mindset is the mindset that anything you need will be available to you when you need it, and more can easily be found. Chronic stress is linked to scarcity mindset. Abundance mindset leads to creativity and willingness to collaborate. This mindset can make all the difference between often feeling happy and peaceful and often feeling unhappy, stressed, and anxious.
I've always been drawn to the word mindset, the way we see the world, and the permission we give ourselves to feel ultimately flows from it. Don't you think? When the mind is unsettled, even a castle can feel like a prison. But when it's at peace, a dry loaf of bread after days of hunger can feel like a feast.
Now you're making me hungry.
Which makes me think about the filter in our mind. Can we ever reach a higher state of mind and stay there? Once again, Maslow speaks to something close to this, a level beyond basic fulfillment, where self actualization begins. It requires a shift in mindset. Instead of being driven by what we lack, we start operating from something deeper, an inner drive to grow, to create, and to express who we truly are.
Wow, that is profound. I feel like we're already closing in on how to actually be happy. But do you think that means self actualization is tied to a truest form of happiness and that other forms of happiness are somehow inferior? I can think of lots of different types of happiness, from the way I feel watching a dumb comedy to the way I feel when I help others, or the happiness I feel when I overcome a challenge. Should we explore different types of happiness? To me, life isn't all about self actualization. I mean, I do think about transcendence, overcoming obstacles to happiness, and changing myself for the best for the world and for me. But sometimes I just want to grab a bag of potato chips and watch Dumb and Dumber and laugh like a 10-year-old.
Yeah.
How does that sort of happiness fit in?
Yeah, you got that right. Happiness comes in many forms. There is the kind we feel from external comfort, ease, security, pleasure. But maturity teaches us to remain steady even when things become difficult. Speaking of movies, I recently watched the movie Project Hail Mary. Have you seen it or read the book?
Oh, yeah, that's a great movie.
Without giving away too much, I was impressed by the development of the main character, how he became passionate about the mission, so much so he was willing to give up his life twice. Did you know that word passion came from the Latin word from suffering? To live passionately is not just to feel excitement and happiness, but to be willing to endure, to go through whatever it takes to pursue something meaningful. A purposeful life doesn't avoid challenges, it invites them, asks us to rise above. All of this leads to deeper questions. What does genuine happiness really mean? I wonder whether very act of chasing happiness, always wanting more, always seeking more, can begin to resemble something closer to greed.
Ooh, I think you nailed it there. I believe it was Stefan Falk who introduced me to the concepts of extrinsic and intrinsic happiness, which are very different. Extrinsic happiness that comes from outside of you. When something happens, like a new car or a promotion, an award. Intrinsic happiness comes from satisfaction from what you have done or not done in the case of showing self control. It can make you happy to choose not to eat a tempting treat because you're proud of yourself. When we focus on intrinsic happiness, we are able to find happiness regardless of what we have. When we focus on extrinsic happiness, we may never be satisfied. Once we get what we want, we need to find something else to want, to have that feeling of happiness all over again, because the psyche has already moved on now that it has that thing it wanted. It's an endless loop of chasing happiness and fighting depression that ironically comes from getting what we wanted.
You said another my favorite word, intrinsic. What does intrinsic worth mean to you? Earlier in my life, sure, I pursued prestige and success following social expectation. I strived to go to good school. At work, I became the youngest director in my region. And then what? Marrying a rich man and having a perfect family? I realized that it wasn't what I truly wanted, but I was conditioned to pursue it to please others, fit in, and make myself feel better in that dynamic. I was haunted by the ghost of extrinsic worth.
That does sound like you were pursuing the life that most people are told would make us happy. What happened? Did any of your success along the way make you happy? Did you have happy moments?
I'd like to share a story. A friend of mine who founded a nonprofit organization in Nigeria once shared a video of himself interviewing a garbage collector living in a slum. Even though life was a daily struggle, he didn't even have a pair of gloves to pick up trash. Can you believe that? Still, just to survive, having a job, even collecting garbage, brought him genuine happiness. I'll never forget his big smile ear to ear. It was the smile of someone who felt a real sense of purpose.
I can see that smile.
That moment humbled me. It made me question how satisfied I truly was with my own life, surrounded by comforts and luxuries I so often took for granted. Maybe the real challenge is learning to be content in the present moment, to find meaning, or at least a bigger perspective in whatever life places before us.
That makes me think of a classic saying: love what you do, and you will never work a day in your life. I was contemplating that one day during work and thinking about how you can take that to the extreme and try to find a way to love each and everything you do in every moment. At least the best it can be enjoyed for what it is. For example, I've fallen in love with my evening ritual to fall asleep. It's a simple set of activities, but it brings me real joy. Instead of thinking about how my time to myself is up and I need to go to bed because I have to get up for work and feeling bitter about ending my free time, I can enjoy the process of taking good care of my body, knowing I will wake up tomorrow feeling great. Then I can enjoy the next day, and a cascading series of happy experiences falls from that process. Your story really puts a spotlight on that for me. If that man living in such difficult circumstances can be so happy, it must be possible for us all to take pride in simple actions and find happiness in anything we do, including picking up garbage.
Do you care to share your sleep hygiene tips?
Absolutely, but let me save that for my project, Tune In to Joy, which is all about these routines and finding happiness in everything we do. I will be telling you all about that in the coming weeks and look forward to sharing it with you and everybody soon.
Okay, I know what you just did.
Haha.
No shame. Follow your bliss. I can only imagine how a daily focus on doing a good job gives us a clear sense of direction and purpose. When we think about our own careers, it's often framed around how much money we make. But what if we shifted that perspective? What if we focused instead on how we spend our time on doing things meaningful, something that gives us a sense of purpose each day? Fulfillment isn't something in what we earn, but in how we choose to show up.
Oh, I love it. I hear that question these days. How do you show up? I'm thinking about what it means to me. I try to show up with curiosity, compassion, and empathy. When I focus on these feelings and not on what I'm going to get out of the situation, I enjoy the process, letting those feelings guide my encounter, instead of getting upset by desires and unmet expectations. Expectations lead to disappointment. Focusing on connecting with others makes each experience more meaningful. How do you show up? And how does it make you feel?
Wow, that's not easy. So tell us more.
Oh, yeah, let's talk about it. What are some of the ways that we can be happy in everything we do in life? That's my goal, to seek the most joyful version of myself. That can be something big like your day-to-day job, or it can be something small like how you wake up in the morning. What are some ways that you add joy to your day-to-day life, Dr. Eiley?
It's important to check in with ourselves, I bet, and see how we show up. Notice things about ourselves. Notice things about what's happening in the moment. Am I happy and content today or not? It's okay not to be okay. Without awareness, though, it's hard to adjust and make any change. Do I show up at work sluggish or tired? Am I living a life that I feel good about or feeling like running on a hamster wheel? Can we carve out a short break here and there? Even just taking a conscious breath is good for us. Listening to happy songs, sharing, finding a passion project, and taking a small step definitely gives high.
Oh, it's one of my favorite sayings of yours. It's okay not to be okay. And in all this talk of happiness, I want to say it's okay to not be happy.
Well, it sounds like you're creating a purposeful life, following your calling as you speak, Mr. Joy. I'm glad that the Tune in Life show is one of them. I'm with you on it. And I try not to have any fixed expectation, but enjoy the process, making this podcast with you.
Same here, Dr. Eiley.
Listeners, what about you? Do you know what makes you truly happy? Ask yourself, what's your passion? What will ignite your passion? What are your talents and you want to invest in for a purposeful living? What will increase your drive and gratitude in life? Why don't we carve out some time to reflect on these questions today?
I love it. Great suggestions, Dr. Eiley. Here are some of my ideas. What did you do because it made you happy today? And what did you do because you think it will help lead to happiness in the future? What daily activities do you do with joy? And what do you do each day with, less than joy? Is happiness tied to identity, possession, accomplishment, or a feeling for you? We want to hear from you. Tell us what happiness means to you. Share your thoughts with us on our site and social media.
I can't wait to hear from all of you and find out more about the real meaning of happiness. In this age of abundance and optimization, until next time, don't just tune in, tune in live and tune out the noise.